Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you the one and only, the voice that introduced, pitikin kita sa ilong, isang hampas na lang ng palakol, the power of yet. Please, let's give it up to our pambansang crypto coach, Coach Miranda Miner.
Hey guys, good morning. Kamusta? Good morning sa inyo, Kamiranda. We are seeing a 25 basis points hike today. Mukhang merong pwedeng... Nako, tingnan natin ang ating merkado. Kamiranda, tingnan po natin. Nako. Tingnan po natin yung nasa start na screen sa taas. Guys, yung actual press conference, 2:30 in the morning Manila time. 2:30. Okay, papakita ko sa inyo maya-maya. Guys, 2:30 pa tayo pero unahan ko na kayo on what's going to happen. So here are the final updates, Kamiranda, FYI. Unahan ko na kayo. Mamaya na kayo makinig ng press conference. So, number one, teka lang, ipopost ko lang ito. Give me a second. This is from a reliable source. It's gonna be 25. Ipopost ko lang, Kamiranda, habang kinakausap ko kayo ngayon. The official results. Ano nangyayari? Teka lang. Okay, give me a second. Then we just try to copy paste my notes. All right. Unang-una, it's gonna be a 25 basis point rate hike. 25. So, good. That's good, no? They're trying to say that the banking system is sound and resilient. There's gonna be tighter credit conditions to weigh on economic activity, hiring, inflation, but uncertain on the impact. There's gonna be additional firming that may be needed, and it is actually a unanimous decision. All right. So 25 basis points, Kamiranda. That's one of the things that you all need to know. Pwede na kayo matulog. I'm just trying to post. So wait lang. Give me a second, Kamiranda. Alright, I'm going just to post it real quick. I'm gonna be posting it. You will see it in your anytime soon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. Okay, posted na to. Dapat alam nyo na. Makita nyo na to, no? So let me just double check what's happening in the US market is going really good, no? The US stock market is doing really good. Let me just double check. Give me a second. All right. So grabe yung volatility ngayon, sobra, no? All right. Okay. So wag na tayo manood ng video nila, inunahan na natin. So ang mangyayari, they're gonna be lifting to a 0.25%. They said that the banking is resilient. They said that the recent stress in the, sabihin ko na sa inyo para wag na tayo manood, no? Sinabi nila that officials are saying that the recent stress in the sector would likely lead to a tighter credit conditions and reduce economic growth, but the extent of these effects are a bit uncertain. In the statement, the Fed said that the additional policy firming will be appropriate to bring back to the 2%. So there could be another policy to go back to the 2%. Okay? And pinalitan nila coming from ongoing increases, nilagay na lang nila that some additional policy firming may be appropriate to bring back inflation to the 2% target. Okay? So, meron pa rin silang ilalagay na interest rate increase, pero hindi ba nila yung language? Instead of saying ongoing increases, sinabi nila it's going to be more additional policy firming. So hindi pa rin nila tinatanggal yung mindset that this can potentially still create more interest rates in the future. They just tried to reward. Okay? Give me a second. Isesend natin ulit sa lahat ng mga Miranda. Sayang hindi nag 0%, no? Sana lumipad na tayo. Ayan. Okay. Give me a second, guys. I'm just trying to write down the summary. All right, so the Federal Reserve raised its benchmark Fed rate to 0.25. Sinasabi nila na inflation still needs to be managed. Ang pwedeng magka-apekto sa percent ng market ngayon is, sinabi pa rin ng Fed na they're going to some additional policy firming may be appropriate. Instead of saying there will be ongoing increases, mas pinalabnaw nila yung statement nila. Okay? So, yun na. Matulog na tayo. Okay? Nag-alarm na ako. Alright? Naintindihan nyo kami, Miranda? So, that's the technical word for the day. Okay. Tingnan natin. Balik tayo sa charts natin. I'm going to teach you kung saan ang mga support and resistances ninyo. Do not let me just show to you my screen. Sobrang volatile, grabe. Napaka-volatile ng coin ngayon. Nakita nyo ba yung akit kanina? Grabe, no? Kamiranda. Let me just show to you our screen for today, okay? Alright. So guys, ito yung ating, wag muna kayong gumalaw, no? Nasa loob pa tayo ng triangle natin. Mamaya na kayo gumalaw, no? So I'm actually looking at the support. So ito yung irerespeto nating support ka, Miranda. Alright. Mag-aantay din ako, no? I'm not gonna be sleeping yet. Mag-aantay ako ng kahit papano, but this one looks to be a formidable support. Tingnan po natin if it's going to be respected. So wag muna kayo mag-short ng heavily because nasa loob pa tayo. Ito yung nangyari kanina. If you're going to notice, meron kang support dito ka, Miranda, and you have this very volatile doji candle. If you go to the lower time frame, talagang ganyan ang itsura niyan. So it's actually within it's actually within the triangle as of today. So I would say, well, actually meron pa ring isa dito, no? Yan. Meron pa siyang isa diyan na magandang tabu trade sana kanina, no? But then again, since tapos na tayo diyan, we're now going to potentially wait. Ako, to be honest, I'm gonna be shorting this coin pag medyo binasag niya to pababa. No, I'm actually seeing that there is a very long support, at least somewhere here, Miranda. This is actually really long left hand already. Ayun, napakalaking left hand yan. But I cannot be certain on kung gusto ba ng market na pababain yan simply because A, you still have a support. Letter B, sinabi natin doon sa ating updates, Miranda, that ayan. So sinabi ko na, no, FOMC summary dyan, the Federal Reserve raised its benchmark Fed fund rates to 0.25, indicating that the inflation is expected to be higher than previously anticipated. The rate now ranges between 4.75 to 5, a contrast to its near zero rate just a year ago. The Fed released a statement claiming that the banking system was stable and durable, although recent stresses in the industry may lead to tighter credit conditions and a decline in economic growth, but the full extent of the impact remains uncertain. To bring inflation back to 2% target, the Fed stated that some additional policy firming may be appropriate, replacing the previous statements that the ongoing increases would be necessary. The Fed stated that it will monitor incoming information closely to evaluate the impact of the monetary policy. So hindi ko muna kailangan manood ng live nila. Hey guys, are we good? Good. Sabi ni Elong Match, saan ko daw nakukuha yan? Marami akong source. Are we good guys? Grabe, alas 2:30 ng umaga, nagla-live tayo. Grabe, saan ka nakakita ng ganyan influencer? Uy, 433 yung nanonood na yun ha. 433, grabe. Sarap. Ha? Huwag na tayo manood ng live nila. Alam ko na sasabihin ng mga yan. Nagmarunong eh, no? Huwag nyo munang i-short guys, ha? May nakasupport pa nag-aabang. Guys, if you're a new trader, wag nyong pag bago kayong trader, magdahan-dahan kayo sa market na to, ha. Nakikita mo naman yan, ha, grabing doji. Salamat sinabayan nyo ako sa pag live natin today, Miranda. Okay, thank you, Mentor AJ. Marami. Uy, salamat Justin. Thank you, thank you. O, di ba? Ikaw alam mo na yung mangyayari. Eh sila manonood pa lang sila. So iba ang may alam, no? Anyways, tingnan natin Miranda. All right? Anyways, to be honest, medyo na-frustrate ako. Nag-aantay ako ng 30 mil eh. Tagal ang 30 mil natin. Tingnan natin, no? Tingnan natin if the market is going to yung actual, kasi konti pa lang ang nakakaalam ng alam natin. Tingnan natin, Miranda, kung mag-iiba pa yan pagsapit mismo ng 2:30 to 3. Isa pang pindot yan. Kasi mas marami na makakaalam yung actual press conference, no? So, isa pang gagalaw yan, okay? Isa pang gagalaw yan. Antayin na natin, Miranda. All right? If the market opens already, if the bigger market is aware, ayan, actually the stock index is actually even creating a bigger tabu trade setup, no? So kanina nag-bigger tabu trade na to. So maganda at least, no? Anyways, 2:30 to 3 abang-abangan ninyo. Mag-react pa ang bigger market, Miranda. Nauna lang tayo ng konti, no? At tingnan natin. I'm hoping sana i-consider ng market, no? But then again, you can never be so sure, no? So tingnan lang natin, Miranda. We're going to wait for if ito yung ating key level support. Tingnan po natin, no? Kung ito ay mababasag, hindi mabasag, no? If it's going to be broken, hindi mabasag, no? So you have your support. You have your support. This is a very valid support area. Kung ito mabasag, dahan-dahanin nyo pa rin sa pag-short, no, unless lumaki yung candle pababa, sabayan nyo na pumaba, no? But yan, very valid yung support, no? Napaka-respetado niya. Okay, mapungay ba yung mata ni Coach? Nakaidlip ako ng konti. Kasi napuyat ako kanina. Naubos yung English ko dun sa Singapore panel kanina eh. Miranda, pag ito, let's sabihin na nating umakyat. Let's just assume that this is going to further go up higher. So, tingin natin potentially, kasi bumasag na siya sa 382, no? Bumasag na eh. So, tingin po natin habang meron pang couple of minutes, just give me a second. So tingin natin, maghanap tayo ngayon ng fib area as a potential resistance. So binasag niya na to, no, itong 27,366. To be honest, pwede na tayong kumuha pa ng isang support dito, pero here, no, yan, yung mga support areas na to pwede mo tong kunin. Alright, 28,737. Yan. So you're going to see mukhang nire-respeto naman niya yung resistance area na yun. 28,737. Alright. At andi dito yung ating key level support ngayon, Kamiranda. Alright. So ang ating magiging triangle is going to be this one. Alright. Yan ang ating guide, no? Antayin natin if the market is going to bring this up or down ng 2:30 onwards kapag nangyari na yung bigger conference na ongoing on the next couple of minutes. Alright? Naintindihan ka, Miranda? Grabe, no? Grabe, napaka gandang market yung hati yung market, no? Hindi ibig sabihin the fact na hindi gumagalaw, it's a good sign, no? Hindi na siya talagang bam. Tagbumaba, hindi katulad ng mga nakakaraang mga FOMC, sobrang magalaw na. Tingnan, isa na lang yung 2:30 to 3. Pag hindi gumalaw to, magiging pure price action tayo, no? Ibig sabihin priced in siya, no? Kasi unang-una, sabi ko nga sa inyo, kung magsi 0% at meron pang isang bangko na masisira, mukhang 30 mil tayo, wala. So ang mangyayari, mag-aantay tayo ngayon ng market that can help us bring and create a rally, no? Yung mga pinapakinggan kong mga analysis ngayon, sobrang bullish nila, kaya ayoko naman i-hype kayo, no? Kasi iba ang risk appetite nyo than them. So ako na lang bahalang mag-manage, mag-digest niyan para sa inyo, Kamiranda. I think they're going to start soon. What time is it? It's 2:27. Natin. Mamaya kung possible, tingnan natin. I'm going to kamusta naman kayo? Nasaan ba kayo ngayon? Can you guys message kung taga saan kayo? Meron ba dito mga OFW? Meron ba dito? Sige nga, message kayo sa akin. Meron bang OFW dito? Alright, guys, ingat tayo. Ingat. Okay, just give me a second. Alright, gusto ko yung ganyan ng itsura. Alright, okay. Cavite, Nueva Ecija, Japan, Marikina, Tuguegarao, Mighty Crib, Romblon, Bicol. Ayan, Cavite. Oy, taga Cavite. Very good. Riyadh, hello. Korea, Selma. Oy, hello. From Mako, hello Mako. Nasa Japan ka na ba? Australia, Big Toti. Jack, uy, kamusta? Of course. Pa-shout out naman, gising pa ako while working. Hello, pare. Roel, taga USA. Saan US yan, pare? Nikki Novaliches, ayan. Daming ng OFW. Tulungan mo nga ako entertain sila dito. Miners, Laguna, Faith, Canada, of course, yan. Watching from Toronto, hindi ito lumpia. Toronto. Sabi, oy, si Mentor Look. Alright, watching from Mati City, Davao. Ayan, Oriental. Ifugao, Ian. Alright, Brian is in Baler, Aurora. No, Barrio Pogi, Davao City. Ba, may ganyan palang barrio, no? Ganyan. Watching from Los Angeles, Antipolo. Ayan na, let's all listen to this, Kamiranda. Let's all listen.
Good afternoon. Before discussing today's meeting, let me briefly address recent developments in the banking sector. In the past 2 weeks, serious difficulties at a small number of banks have emerged. History has shown that isolated banking problems, if left unaddressed, can undermine confidence in healthy banks and threaten the ability of the banking system as a whole to play its vital role in supporting the savings and credit needs of households and businesses. That is why, in response to these events, the Federal Reserve, working with the Treasury Department and the FDIC, took decisive actions to protect the U.S. economy and to strengthen public confidence in our banking system. These actions demonstrate that all depositors' savings and the banking system are safe. With the support of the Treasury, the Federal Reserve Board created the Bank Term Funding Program to ensure that banks that hold safe and liquid assets can, if needed, borrow reserves against those assets at par. This program, along with our long-standing discount window, is effectively meeting the unusual funding needs that some banks have faced and makes clear that ample liquidity in the system is available. Our banking system is sound and resilient with strong capital and liquidity. We will continue to closely monitor conditions in the banking system and are prepared to use all of our tools as needed to keep it safe and sound. In addition, we are committed to learning the lessons from this episode and to work to prevent events like this from happening again. Turning to the broader economy and monetary policy, inflation remains too high and the labor market continues to be very tight. My colleagues and I understand the hardship that high inflation is causing, and we remain strongly committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal. Price stability is the responsibility of the Federal Reserve. Without price stability, the economy does not work for anyone. In particular, without price stability, we will not achieve a sustained period of strong labor market conditions that benefit all. The U.S. economy slowed significantly last year, with real GDP rising at a below-trend pace of 0.9%. Consumer spending appears to have picked up this quarter, although some of that strength may reflect the effects of swings in the weather across the turn of the year. In contrast, activity in the housing sector remains weak, largely reflecting higher mortgage rates. Higher interest rates and slower output growth also appear to be weighing on business fixed investment. Committee participants generally expect subdued growth to continue. As shown in our summary of economic projections, the median projection for real GDP growth stands at just 0.4% this year and 1.2% next year, well below the median estimate of the longer run normal growth rate. And nearly all participants see the risks to GDP growth as weighted to the downside. Yet the labor market remains extremely tight. Job gains have picked up in recent months, with employment rising by an average of 351,000 jobs per month over the last 3 months. The unemployment rate remained low in February at 3.6%. The labor force participation rate has edged up in recent months, and wage growth has shown some signs of easing. However, with job vacancies still very high, labor demand substantially exceeds the supply of available workers. FOMC participants expect supply and demand conditions in the labor market to come into better balance over time, easing upward pressures on wages and prices. The median unemployment rate projection in the SEP rises to 4.5% at the end of this year and 4.6% at the end of next year. Inflation remains well above our longer run goal of 2%. Over the 12 months ending in January, total PCE prices rose 5.4%, excluding the volatile food and energy categories. Excluding those, core PCE prices rose 4.7%. In February, the 12-month change in the CPI came in at 6%, and the change in the core CPI was 5.5%. Inflation has moderated somewhat since the middle of last year, but the strength of these recent readings indicates that inflation pressures continue to run high. The median projection in the SEP for total PCE inflation is 3.3% for this year, 2.5% next year, and 2.1% in 2025. The process of getting inflation back down to 2% has a long way to go and is likely to be bumpy. Despite elevated inflation, longer-term inflation expectations appear to remain well anchored, as reflected in a broad range of surveys of households, businesses, and forecasters, as well as measures from financial markets. The Fed's monetary policy actions are guided by our mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. My colleagues and I are acutely aware that high inflation imposes significant hardship as it erodes purchasing power, especially for those least able to meet the higher costs of essentials like food, housing, and transportation. We are highly attentive to the risks that high inflation poses to both sides of our mandate, and we are strongly committed to returning inflation to our 2% objective. At today's meeting, the committee raised the target range for the federal funds rate by a quarter percentage point, bringing the target range to 4.75% to 5%. And we are continuing the process of significantly reducing our securities holdings. Since our previous FOMC meeting, economic indicators have generally come in stronger than expected, demonstrating greater momentum in economic activity and inflation. We believe, however, that events in the banking system over the past 2 weeks are likely to result in tighter credit conditions for households and businesses, which would in turn affect economic outcomes. It is too soon to determine the extent of these effects, and therefore too soon to tell how monetary policy should respond. As a result, we no longer state that we anticipate that ongoing rate increases will be appropriate to quell inflation. Instead, we now anticipate that some additional policy firming may be appropriate. We will closely monitor incoming data and carefully assess the actual and expected effects of tighter credit conditions on economic activity, the labor market, and inflation. And our policy decisions will reflect that assessment.
Guys, sinabi ko na lahat yun kaninang sinasabi niya ngayon. So, they're going to reflect. Ulitin ko lang yung sinasabi niya.
As well as measures from financial markets. The Fed's monetary policy actions are guided by our mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. My colleagues and I are acutely aware that high inflation imposes significant hardship as it erodes purchasing power, especially for those least able to meet the higher costs of essentials like food, housing, and transportation. We are highly attentive to the risks that high inflation poses to both sides of our mandate, and we are strongly committed to returning inflation to our 2% objective. At today's meeting, the committee raised the target range for the federal funds rate by a quarter percentage point, bringing the target range to 4.75% to 5%. And we are continuing the process of significantly reducing our securities holdings. Since our previous FOMC meeting, economic indicators have generally come in stronger than expected, demonstrating greater momentum in economic activity and inflation. We believe, however, that events in the banking system over the past 2 weeks are likely to result in tighter credit conditions for households and businesses, which would in turn affect economic outcomes. It is too soon to determine the extent of these effects, and therefore too soon to tell how monetary policy should respond. As a result, we no longer state that we anticipate that ongoing rate increases will be appropriate to quell inflation.
So sinasabi nila, they changed the, di ba sabi ko sa inyo, they changed the statement. They're not going to expect ongoing increases. Instead,
we now anticipate that some additional policy firming may be appropriate.
Some additional policy firming may be appropriate. Sinabi ko na sa Twitter ko yan kanina.
We will closely monitor incoming data and carefully assess the actual and expected effects of tighter credit conditions on economic activity, the labor market, and inflation. And our policy decisions will reflect that assessment. In our SEP, each FOMC participant wrote down an appropriate path for the federal funds rate based on what that participant judges to be the most likely scenario going forward. If the economy evolves as projected, the median participant projects that the appropriate level of the federal funds rate will be 5.1% at the end of this year, 4.3% at the end of 2024, and 3.1% at the end of 2025. These are little changed from our December projections, reflecting offsetting factors. These projections are not a committee decision or plan. If the economy does not evolve as projected, the path for policy will adjust as appropriate to foster our maximum employment and price stability goals. We will continue to make our decisions meeting by meeting based on the totality of the incoming data and their implications for the outlook for economic activity and inflation.
Alright, ganun na lang tayo. Kamiranda. Alright, guys. Hello. Alright, okay. So, Kamiranda, ang galaw natin sa market, very volatile. No? Very volatile. Kung ako sa inyo, I'm going to... Kung kayo may time at meron kayong oras ngayon, scalp this market, obviously. Ang ganda nung basag niya, talagang nung bumasag, tumuloy-tuloy, no? Sumalo lang yung 618 area niya. Tapos, umakyat ulit. So, gawin ninyo, ang magandang entra dyan, pag ganyan, pakita ko sa inyo yung ginawa ng market, no? Mga scalping play na galawan. Just give me a second. So, yan. So, ang ginawa ng market, so di ba meron tayong TLSBD na malaki. Yan. At tandaan nyo, pag ganito yung market mo at very volatile, you just scalp this market, no? So, sabi natin, ito yung magiging support natin, right? Pag ganun, maghahanap ka ngayon ng TP area. And normally, pwede mo i-consider dalawang klaseng TP area, Kamiranda. Makinig ka mabuti because last couple of minutes na natin, medyo stress na pala, no? You can actually do this one, as the first potential TP area. You actually have your auras here, old resistance acting as a support. Or you can actually do a 618 here. Pakita ko sa'yo, ha? So you can actually do a 618 on this area. There you go. So pwede mo siyang lagyan ng 618 somewhere here as a potential TP area. So nung humataw siya pababa, this one, obviously you have a potential support area here that can act, no, as a potential support. Pwede natin ibaba ulit yan dito. Ayan, mukhang sinuport naman niya doon. And ang re-entry, if you're going to re-enter this particular ito, Kamiranda, do not rule out agad na ito ay aakyat, no? Do not rule out, no? Meron siyang binasag na malaki, no? Ganyan, malaking support line. So potentially it's actually looking for a consolidation. Pag ganitong ginagawa ko, I'm actually getting another area, kukunin ko yung 382 na yon. Ngayon, kukunin ko siya ngayon. I'm going to wait for this. So, ito yung kanyang price point. Napaka-volatile, Kamiranda. Sobrang volatile. I'm going to wait for this price to play within this territory. Kung ito man ay aakyat pataas, this one can act as another offshore area. Ang pwedeng gawin nito, this can potentially just go up and then correct. So, ang magandang entrada mo dito, kung hindi mo nahabol yan, is to wait for another breakdown on 27,768 for a potential taboo trade pababa. You can actually wait for that. Otherwise, pag naka-short ka ngayon, you're holding your possession, cut loss, pag inakyat niya ito ulit paakyat, pwedeng tusukin niya paakyat yan. Do not take the risk, baka hatawin niya yun paakyat bigla-bigla because it's very, very volatile market. And, just scalp your way for the day. Ako, I'm going to wait for two positions. I'm going to wait here sa taas. I'm going to wait for a position somewhere here sa baba. Yung mga ganyang unang galawan, hindi ko muna pinapasok yan. But if you did, congratulations sa inyo. As I've said, kung pinasok nyo ito mabilis na bagsak pa baba with the TP area on the offshore here, oras here, then good job sa inyo. Otherwise, kung hindi, then do not trade. Just wait for this market to calm down a little bit. And let's wait for the directional move of the market simply because the market is reacting to the Federal Reserve pronouncements. Pero hindi naman ako at least nag-guide ko naman kayo ahead of time. Lahat naman na sinabi ni Powell, sinabi na po natin dito in advance. right. Hey, Ramadan Kareem to all Muslim. Yes, Ramadan Kareem po. Ano ba yan? Sinasabi nyo bang happy yan? Ano ba yan? Happy ba yan? Siyempre, kailangan maging sensitive si Coach Miranda. Coach Miranda Miner, di ba? How do you say happy Ramadan ba yan, Miranda? Can you please teach me? Hindi ko alam eh. Alright. Bearish or bullish? Melo, good question. Ako, I've been really bullish on this market since 2 weeks, 2 Saturdays ago. Ngayon siguro continuation na ito ng market sentiment. So I don't mind kung umakyat or bumaba. I'm net positive sa spots natin. Ang aking bias is price action ako ngayon. I'm going to do price based on the key level resistance and support. No, tingin ko the market is pricing in the 0.25. Sayang dapat nag-zero eh. Dapat nag-zero. Eid Mubarak. Eid Mubarak. Yun pala ibig sabihin nun. Is that how you say it? Eid Mubarak? You don't say Happy Ramadan ba? Alright. Hello from Riyadh, sabi ni Dexter. Tapos 4 a.m. gagalaw. Uy, grabe kayo alas 3 na ng umaga, gising pa kayo, grabe. Sabi ni Bien, Coach, pag-greet naman, birthday daw niya, watching from Slovakia. Hello. Malamig pa rin ba dyan? Eid Mubarak. Yan. Pagkatulog natin sa kagagalaw ang market. No? Siguro, Miranda, just be very, very, be careful, with this market because this market can just simply do a lot of volatility move, no? So, ingat. Otherwise, wag kayong mag-trade ng FOMC. Hayaan nyo munang bumasag ng mga key level resistance or support. Ako, relax lang tayo kasi meron ako inaantay na price. So, inaantay ko ditong basagin niya. To be honest with you, inaantay kong basagin dito yung nasa tuktok. Gusto kong basagin yung 28,800. Gusto kong basagin niya yun eh. At I might enter the trade. Yon. Anyways, shout out birthday ni Sha Vilacha. Ramadan Mubarak. Eid Mubarak after ng Ramadan. Okay. Alright. May pasok pa bukas pero gising pa ako, Coach. Pabati po, sabi ni Jean. Okay. Grabe volatility, no? Kakaiba. Kung hindi nyo kaya itong market, di kayo marunong mag-scalp, layasan nyo muna. Alright? Okay. Alright. Ngantay ako ng order sa tuktok. Sobrang sobrang harsh. Bakit sa tuktok ka mag-iintay? Hindi, because there's an FA, no? So kung kaya ng FA, kung wala namang FA, hindi ko to trade eh. So short ko to. To be honest, short ko to coin na to. I'm going to short this coin. Natay ko yung mga key level supports eh. Scalp lang kayo guys. No? I'm actually scalping. Kasama ko kayo nagsiscalp ngayon. Okay, batiin ko lang kayo. Pabati from Italy. Yan, good morning. Uy, parang pangatlong live ko na to. Bukas di muna ako magla-live. Uy, mag-raffle pala tayo. Meron pang pangakong raffle eh, no? Naalala nyo ba yung raffle natin? Naalala nyo ba yun? Tatlo mananalo ng ng tigwa 1,000 pesos. Diba? Mag-raffle tayo. Teka lang. Uy guys, 93,000 subscribers na tayo. Ano nyo nga, subscribe nyo naman Kamiranda. Subscribe kayo sa atin. Alright. Nasaan na ba yun? Yung FO. Ito, mag-raffle tayo. Alright. Diba yung sinabi ko sa inyo before, yung kay Sharby token, o 3 mananalo ha. So, alam niyo na yung gagawin nyo. Ano ba yung sabi ko doon? Okay, sabi natin, Sharby token. Alright, sorry about that. Let me just try to put Sharby token. 3 mananalo kami, Randa. 3 mananalo, no? Natigo 1,000 pesos yan. Medyo napapagod. Medyo naghahabol na ako ng boses. Napapagod ako. Teka lang ha. Kanina pa tayo kasi nagla-live. Grabe naman tong market na to. Ay, alright. Let's do this. 3 mananalo, guys.
She goes her own way, like I don't give a damn girl. And my God, she owns it. So many heartbreaks, goes back to 2014. And I think that she knows it. And if you've seen her, I know that you would believe it.
First winner, Obstinate. Congratulations.
Because I know that you'd want her to. Yeah, I do. Everyone's taking their shot, but missing out on the cut. I think she knows that. She drives them crazy when she's looking like that.
Next winner is Skiff. Congratulations.
The way she's moving makes them want it so bad. Gets the attention that we wish that we had. Yeah, it's almost cruel, cause I want her to. Running in circles just.
Grabe, Maymay, ilang beses kong nakitang lumabas yung pangalan mo. Hindi humihinto dun.
To make her react.
Okay, Mikha Guzman, congratulations.
Heart is racing, yeah, I want her so bad. I wanna kiss her, but I know for a fact that she's way too cool. But I want her to. Ripped skinny jeans and tattoos on both her ankles. 21 Pilot t-shirt. That's the stuff. Goddamn, she's so fly. Knows how to write a good song. At least better than this. Cause if you've seen her, I know that you would believe it. Cause I know that you'd want her to. Yeah, I do. Come on
Hello, Paula Gutierrez from Toronto.
and give it a shot, but you'll be missing the cut. I think she knows that. She drives them crazy when she's looking like that. The way she's moving.
Sayang guys, yung mga nanalo, email me. You guys have won $20 dollars. No, 20, tama ba? $20. Baka masabi ko 20,000 pesos.
Moving makes them want it so bad.
You guys want $20? Paki-email po ako. Paki-email po ako, Kamiranda.
Gets the attention that we wish that we had. Yeah, it's almost cruel.
Paki-email, paki-email, paki-email.
Cause I want her to.
Hello, Legna Anim from Israel. Shalom. Shalom po, Legna Anim. Ganda na pangalan niyo po, Legna. Yan. Congrats din. Thank you, Joey Lee. Yan, sana manalo ka next time, ha? Alright. Birthday sa January ni Melo. Lahi pa birthday mo. Alright. Uy, congratulations. Mga members, maraming salamat and thank you for always being here, Kamiranda. Guys, overall, ingat sa market. Sobrang volatile, no? Talagang ang haba ng kandila because the market is wanting to fight against each other, no? The bears and the bulls are fighting. Kaya makikita mo dyan talagang patatagan yan, no? And this is not always a game of high leverage future traders. Mag-iingat kayo using very high leverage on an FOMC or a CPI date. Mas magandang mas pinapasok nyo yung mga key level resistances and support with very tight stop losses today, no? Overall, tingin natin, hindi tayo nakakuha ng 0%, hindi tayo nakakuha ng bank run. Mukhang matatagalan ng aking 30,000 na forecast. But I'm still remaining hopeful na positive, no? To be honest with you, ang kwento ngayon is ilang bangko ang potentialing pwede pang magsara dahil sa tinaas ulit nila yung interest rate. Tingnan natin, di ba? Tingnan natin if how many banks are going to resist a 5% interest rate yield. Tingnan natin yung Kamirada, grabe, no? In a span of 13 months, 14 months, lumaktaw tayo ng 19x ng interest rate, no? Grabe. So tingnan natin, no? At ako siguro bilang ka ng 1 to 2 weeks, baka makarinig kung unless maagapan nila, meron na namang isang bangko dyan magko-close. At pag nangyari yan, ako, positive narrative yan. Yung mga nakinig kanina sa live ni Coach Miranda Miner doon sa Coin Store, yun yung aking pananaw. No? I'm remaining positive. But again, yung narrative natin is going to be really a fight of the bulls and the bears on your key level areas. And we have a very, very volatile market, Kamiranda. Yung iba sa inyo nakausap ko na, no? Some of you I even spoke face-to-face, one-on-one doon sa ating mga coffee meetups. Sabi ninyo sa akin, Coach, I don't trade on weekends. Coach, I don't trade on CPIs and FOMCD. Well done, congratulations. You need to follow your trading rules, no? Ang maganda dyan is you have your trading rules and you are following it, no? And yon, congratulations sa inyo, Kamiranda. I hope you're all guided, no? Nasabi ko na naman sa inyo 30 minutes before the actual live, nasabi na natin sa inyo kung ano talaga yung pwede mangyari. And true enough, sinabi din naman ni Powell. Saan ko kinukuha yan? I will tell you guys soon. Pero sa ngayon, akin muna. I'm ahead, no? Meron akong kinukuha ang source niyan. Alright? With that said, maraming salamat. Thank you. Magandang umaga, Kamiranda. Mahal na mahal ko po kayo. Sana mahalin nyo rin ako. And mahal na mahal ko po kayo. I love you 3,000, Kamiranda.
In circles just to make her react. My heart is racing, yeah, I want her so bad. I wanna kiss her, but I know for a fact that she's way too cool. But I want her to.
Alright, Kamiranda, maraming salamat and good night. Uy guys, may favor. Before kayo umalis lahat, may favor ako sa inyo. Kung meron kayong mga kaibigan na gusto nyo matuto at malaman din kung ano yung CPI, FOMC, panoorin nyo sa atin, ha?
Everyone's taking their shot,
And I'll take care of them here. Ha? Tuturuan natin yan.
showing all that they got.
Grabe volatile ng market.
But they'll be missing